Welcome to you. Well, today I thought I'd take you with me to Jumatan, or Friday prayers. Well, a massive welcome to you to my new channel, Java in the Raw. It's a sister channel to my other channel, The Magic of Java. And in this, I focus less on the mystical and the magical aspects and more on looking at Java as it really is, warts and all. Yes, I suppose it is a travel and tourism channel, but I'm not here to hide anything from you. And it looks at everyday life, so you could also see it as somewhat of an ethnographic channel. So it shows the real lives of people, not attempting to hide anything, not attempting to glamorise anything. It'll largely be in the mountains of Gurun Kedal, near Jogja or Yogyakarta, but I'll also show trips out to places like Yogyakarta or Jogja and Surakarta or Solo, and even to Jakarta and to Bali when it's open again. But thank you for joining. Now, as you probably know, as Muslims, we pray 5 times a day. Now, here in the mountains, I do this mostly at home, although I could do it anywhere. Indeed, I'm very happy if there is a church close by to pray at a church, or I'd pray in a vihara or pura. It really doesn't matter to me. But on Fridays around noon, I will always go to the Masjid, or Mosque as you know it. In Indonesia, this Friday prayers is a male-only thing, although in some countries, women would be included in separate areas. At other times, there's no problem women going to the Masjid, and they're separated by, I call it a barrier. It's hardly a barrier. It's just a short little thing separating them from the rest of the people. But this rural masjid, I have to say, it's not used that much, mostly just for Friday prayers. At 11:30, I take wudu at home. Now, you can do this at the masjid. It's not a problem. And I put on clean clothing. I tend to wear Arab or Pakistani clothing. In Jakarta, there's been some anti-foreigner tensions as a result of it being assumed that we're all Christian. So I actually wear the same clothing as those who cause the trouble, and forgive me, it's just my sense of humour. It's more normal to wear a sarong with a white baju koko shirt and a black velvet pechi hat. Although here it's more normal not to wear the baju koko, but a very colourful batik shirt, often which doesn't match the sarong. And batik is actually the name of the printing process, but is also used for the name of the shirt that people wear. Everyone will use sandals because we enter the masjid barefoot, and you'll soon see all the sandals outside the masjid with people ready to go in. In the UK, people put their socks back on, but here people would be absolutely horrified to see this. Because of the health crisis, I take a prayer mat, most people, will take a prayer mat with them because there's no carpets, but normally a mat isn't required. Now, this is a Muhammadiyya masjid, which traditionally is more like the prayers and the service of other countries than the majority NU masjids. But here in the mountains, it really makes very little difference. That building you can see just there now, that's the masjid coming up. Both Muhammadiyya and NU are Sunni Muslims, but I'd be quite happy to pray in a Shia or a Ahmadiyya. But their masjids aren't so common in Indonesia. There's very minor differences in how we pray, minor differences in our beliefs, but nothing like as big as the differences between Catholics and Protestants. Now, Sunnis have no hierarchy. In Indonesia, there is a bureaucracy, and that's part of the Ministry of Religious Affairs. In other countries, there are Sunni bureaucracies and therefore bureaucratic hierarchies. So certainly in the village, the prayer is led by the imam, who's a lay person and the most important person at the time. This being Jumatan, there will be a sermon, and this will be led by an ustad, a Quranic teacher. And here is often the person who's just the best read in the Quran. The ustad and the imam can be the same person, but generally aren't. What you just saw there was where you can take the wudu, so where you can have your ablutions, your wash, and you can see the sandals on the ground there. And there inside, I'm not going to take it inside, but there you can see some people beginning their prayer. Now today, being Ramadan, the ustad was actually from outside, probably from just the bottom of the mountain, and the imam was my uncle. Because we had an ustad, there were only 2 rakat, or that's the cycles of prayers that we do. If I was at home for Zohor is the time of Jumatan, then I would be doing 4 rakat. In total, it was less than 30 minutes. In larger masjids, I suppose it could be as much as 45 minutes for a Jumatan. Less for normal prayers. Very friendly. Shake hands with all around you. Very different to what I found masjids in the north of England to be like. They're nothing like as friendly. Traditionally, you should walk to and from the masjid. And if possible, I make a big point of this. But I have to say that most Muslim countries, people walk very frequently. And indeed, in Indonesia, people walk less than anywhere else in the world, and think that I'm absolutely crazy for walking to and from the masjid. And you can probably also notice that there's some very young boys riding these motorcycles to and from the masjid. It is actually illegal for them to do so, but they're very, very unlikely to be stopped. And even if they are stopped by the police, a small amount of money should be enough for the police to forget about it. It could be very different for a foreigner, and that's the reason why I personally don't have a bike or a car. So we're just going to turn the corner here, and there's a house that looks to be a very old traditional house, but in fact it's a house that's been rebuilt. The president gave some money to the poorer people of our village to build houses, and this house is less than a year old. And you can see you'll see by the side of it, there's the well, and then by the side of the well, there's an open air shower. And just at the end of this clip, you'll see a lady's head pop out of the shower. There's the chickens there that I've frightened. I always seem to manage to frighten them. And there you can see the ladies having a shower. Yeah. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that video and enjoy my channel Java in the Raw. If you did, I don't do that very well with these algorithms. So if you could hit the like button, make a comment and subscribe, that would be wonderful. I'm not too certain how often I'm going to add to this. I always say that something like I'll attempt every week, but I think that might be a bit ambitious given my other channel. But if you hit the bell, I believe you get notification of it. And as I say, if you could like and subscribe, it'd be great for me. And, you know, if you are interested in the other aspects, the more mystical aspects, then do take a look at my other channel, The Magic of Java. But really appreciate you coming here. Thank you very much.